My 40M wife, 36F, was seen holding hands with another man. My wife, 36F, and I, 40M, have been together for 5 years and got married last year. We definitely have our ups and downs, but we're generally happy. On Friday, she went out with people from her work for Christmas drinks and arrived home at around midnight absolutely hammered. She said she had a good time and went straight to bed. Yesterday, I got a message on Instagram from an anonymous account claiming to be one of her colleagues, saying that she had been flirting all night with one of the guys from the office, 44M, and they'd left together at about 9 to walk to the train station. The colleague had a couple more drinks, then went to the station herself, and says she saw my wife walking hand in hand with the guy through the station at about 10:45. They didn't see her. Last night, I showed her the message and asked her for an explanation. She claimed she was so drunk that she doesn't remember anything that happened after about 8 p.m. I asked if she went somewhere with the guy after they left the group, and she checked the location history on her phone, which confirmed that they had gone to a bar near the station for about an hour. They arrived at the station at 10:40. She gave me her phone and insisted I check it, and there were no suspicious messages or anything. As far as I could tell, she doesn't have the guy's number in her phone, and they're not following each other on Instagram or friends on Facebook. I asked if she was flirting with him, and she admitted that she was talking mostly to him all night, but that's just because he's the only person in her office that she has anything in common with, and that they're just friends, and it wasn't flirting. She's mentioned this guy before to me and said how much they have in common. I asked if they were holding hands, and she said she doesn't remember, but she doesn't think so. She claims to know who sent the message and says it's a woman in the office who hates her, although she doesn't know why. Today, she's been in a terrible mood, and we've not really spoken. So, that's where we are. I'm not sure what to do. Is this as a big red flag as I'm making it out to be? Update. Sam came home from work on Monday and casually said that she'd spoken with the guy, Tom, and that he confirmed that they hadn't held hands, but they had just been walking arm in arm because she was drunk and wearing heels. I asked her why her colleague, Helen, would make an Instagram account, track me down, and message me saying that they held hands if it wasn't true. She said Helen is basically in love with Tom and made a pass at him just after his divorce, but he rejected her. I asked why Helen would feel threatened by her. She said because her and Tom are friends, and Helen's a crazy jealous SOB as evidenced by the Instagram message. I asked her why she went for a drink, just her and Tom. She said that according to Tom, they walked past this bar with an amazing live band playing, so they stopped in for a drink. Her only regret was doing too many shots too early and getting absolutely drunk. The next day, she went shopping after work and came home with a new dress. I asked what the occasion was, and she said her work Christmas party. Last week was just drinks with people from her office. The company Christmas party is on Friday. Apparently, she mentioned this, but I hardly slept that night. The next day, I decided to reply to the Instagram message to get some more info. I asked, "Do you think there's anything going on with them?" Helen, I assume, quickly replied with a long message saying that they flirt at work and everyone's noticed. Apparently, Sam was going to be let go, but Tom put in a good word, so she kept her job. Tom protects her in the office and will constantly defend her. She also said that Sam moans about me to the whole office, and it's clear we don't have a happy marriage. I asked if she was going to the Christmas party, and she said she was. She said she'd update me if anything happened. Sam finished work early on Friday, so she had time to get ready. She looked amazing, and I really didn't want her to go, but I felt like I couldn't say anything. I got an Instagram message around midnight saying that Sam and Tom hadn't interacted at the party, but that people from the office had decided to leave and go to a different bar. They all left just before 11 and were at the new bar by 10 past. Sam and Tom turned up just before midnight. Sam arrived home about 2 a.m., not quite as drunk as the last time, and went straight to sleep. I pretended to be fast asleep. I looked at the location history on her phone. After leaving the venue, she'd taken a 3-mile detour to a residential street, stayed for half an hour, then gone to the bar. I sent the address to Helen. She didn't reply until the next morning when she said it was Tom's house. When Sam woke up, I just asked her straight out if she cheated on me with Tom last night. She angrily denied it. I told her that I knew that she had been to Tom's house. She accused me of spying on her. She called me controlling, said she was going to stay with her sister. I demanded an explanation, and she said she went to his house so they could smoke a joint before heading to the bar. Then she stormed out. She wouldn't reply to my messages or answer my calls all day Sunday. I called her sister, who said she hadn't seen her, but she texted me later that she'd spoken to Sam and she was okay. Sam came home yesterday morning. I asked where she'd been, and she just said she couldn't do this anymore and wants a divorce. She went to start packing some clothes while I tried to get her to talk to me. I asked if she was leaving me for Tom. She once again denied anything inappropriate had happened between them, but said my jealousy was the final straw. It's clear I don't trust her. I'm controlling. I take her for granted. She's deeply unhappy and has been for a while. So, she's gone. It looks like I'll be spending my first Christmas alone. I have no idea if she was telling the truth or if it was an affair. Weirdly, I'm not feeling too bad today, so maybe this is for the best. So, having read many of these stories, I feel like this is one of those instances where if we got a little bit more info on the dynamic of the relationship and previous instances, then maybe we could get a clearer picture here. Because I feel like there's some details that, while may not be necessary for this particular story, may help paint a broader picture. Also, even if she wasn't doing anything, her behavior at the very least is a little suspicious. Like, you can have male friends, you can have female friends of the opposite gender, but you gotta tell the partner. Otherwise, stuff like this happens, and they're gonna be like, what's the hubby doing? What's the wifey doing? Just communicate. Just say, hey, I'm gonna go smoke a bowl real quick for 30 minutes with my buddy. All right, next story. Story number 2. I, 30F, caught my husband, 31M, in an affair, and I don't know how to move on. I've suspected things have been going on for a while, but kept brushing it off. I thought he would never do that to me. Since around April, he's been refusing my attempts to have sex most of the time, sitting directly on the couch to where he's facing away from me, little things. He's doing it with one of our good friends. She came to my house a few weeks ago. She's texted me. She's pretended to be there for me. I found out because I rolled over and they were having a Snapchat conversation. She said she wished she could be there to hold him, and he summarized that I tried to seduce him last night and mocked it. I confronted him and he admitted it. He said that he thinks it was because quarantine was stressful, and he does not want to work things out. He thinks of me only as a friend in his heart, as he says. When I told her husband, he confronted her, and apparently they actually kissed back in February. I think at that moment, I was never going to be enough for him. We used to be so happy. The week before they kissed, we celebrated Valentine's Day together. He bought us a nice bottle of wine for our anniversary. We had fun. We were perfect. And I don't know where to go from here. We've been married for only about a year. I feel like he took so much from me and doesn't even want to go to therapy or work this out. I don't want to leave my house, but everywhere in it I see him. He chose her. I've been cheated on in every relationship I've ever been in, and he was supposed to be my forever. I don't know what to do. I've made therapy appointments, but I was also laid off last month, so I have too much free time to analyze every single moment where he might have been lying to me, or where I made myself pathetic trying to cling to him. How do I start to get through this? Update. First of all, I just want to thank everyone here for the support I received following my first post back in August. At the time, it truly felt like my world was ending. It was important to me to make this update because I need to tell everyone who's currently going through the same thing, it gets better. You will get so much better. I have had one conversation with my husband since everything happened, by his choice. It lasted maybe 5 minutes, and it was like talking to a robot. I know from others that he cries to people about how he ruined his life, but I have never once gotten an apology or the same show of regret. At this point, I don't care. I know him and the other woman are still seeing each other, and frankly, they deserve each other. Good for them. While I still feel angry occasionally, I no longer mourn what I once had. Instead, I'm so excited for the life I now get to live. I moved to a small, walkable city and gave myself my dream apartment. It makes me so happy to see how I've decorated it and to just live in a cozy place instead of our old, dreary house. I was the breadwinner in our marriage, and he would make me feel awful about wanting to pay for nice meals or do fun things. Since moving here, I've done a ton of foodie fun stuff and I don't feel guilty. It's so refreshing. I have dipped my toe into the dating pool again and have had plenty of mediocre dates from dating apps. Recently, I find someone who I've really clicked with and am enjoying how appreciated and desired he's made me feel. It's definitely early and we're moving slow, but overall, dating has made me realize that I'm a catch who doesn't have to settle. Therapy has done wonders and I'm so happy I immediately dove into it. My therapist is proud of me. I'm proud of me. I've stopped looking at being divorced as a failure. He failed, not me. I'm genuinely happy and excited to wake up each morning and no longer feel like this terrible weight is sitting on my chest. The holidays were surprisingly easy, and I found myself so happy to spend time with my family without having to compromise anything. So, all in all, life is good, and there's so much of it ahead. Looking back, I can't believe I wasted so much time thinking about how I could get him to come home. I've made my own home, in my own happiness, and that is worth so much more. This is the ending I like to see on this story. Moving to a walkable city? Hell yeah. Everyone, let's go to a walkable city. Throw our cars in the river. Batteries? Dump them in the ocean. Who needs them anymore? I'm also glad that she went to therapy because I recommend it every other video, but you know what? It works and some people need it, but good for her. Next story. Story number 3. Did I, 33F, really do the wrong thing to my husband, 37M? My husband and I were celebrating our 6-year wedding / 14 years together anniversary tonight. We left work early and had a massage and facial. Everything was good. We then went to a local upscale steak place and were having a good time. I went to the bathroom and secretly asked the waiter to bring a bottle of Veuve Clicquot after we finished as a surprise. Context, he got me a bottle when we got engaged. Then we shared a bottle at our wedding. Now it's a should we grab a bottle every anniversary and holiday. I'm still the one who prefers champagne over him, but I am associating it as a marker for special things for both of us. Anyway, right before the bottle came, he was asking if we should go somewhere else for one last drink. I saw the waiter coming and said, "Don't be mad. I already planned for that," and he came and opened it. My husband then went on to berate me about how I should have known he would want to leave, that he only ever got the champagne for me, and that even though he liked it sometimes, I only ordered it for myself and not him. Instead of enjoying the rest of our night, we argued about it until we paid and left. And then the entire way home, and now he's sleeping in a different room. I really thought I was doing something kind based on nostalgia of our relationship, and I really feel beaten up over this. But did I do the wrong thing? Edit. Update since last night. Woke up this morning, still upset, and talked it through. Ultimately, he apologized, saying that he shouldn't have said anything and he was just being a brat. We had been drinking some during dinner, so that definitely played into it. I slept on the couch for some of the night, but woke up and went to bed with him later. We're good now. The long of it, he reiterated that in the moment he was really ready to go, not to have sex, but to go somewhere else and have a drink. And it felt like I had extended the evening for something that was focused on solely me and not him. I asked him not to be mad because he had just mentioned wanting to leave when I saw the bottle coming out. I recapped the times we had shared this champagne together for special occasions that he always seemed to enjoy partaking in, and I was just trying to celebrate us, not me. We were going to order dessert, and the bottle came before we did that, so we could drink it during that. He also tends to rush dinners, and I wanted to use our anniversary as an opportunity to talk, connect, not have any phones, and enjoy the rest of the evening, especially if he was willing to go to another place and drink. It didn't seem like it should have been a big deal. After reading comments, I even point-blank asked him if he thinks I make things about myself and if it is a common thing, and he adamantly disagreed. I'm a highly anxious people pleaser, to be honest, and he knows this. The cost had nothing to do with it. We both make a good amount of money, and he often encourages me to be less frugal and spend more on us/myself. I manage the money and know how much we can afford and where the money goes. He loves massages and gets them more than me. The day we wanted to get a massage, only one was available, and he prefers them while I am okay with either a massage or a facial, so I gave him the massage to be kind to him. I guess the takeaway here is, unless it is a surprise for just him versus us, I should talk it out with him. I also realize I could have ordered it earlier in the meal. I just didn't think champagne and steak went together well, and thought dessert was better. Wow, I'm surprised the general consensus wasn't to get a divorce immediately and go no contact with him, because you know how some people are, but I'm glad that they resolved this, and really fast time. It was a misunderstanding, and we have those. But you know what's better? Resolving the misunderstanding. Hell yeah for solid working marriages. Next story. Story number 4. My 35M girlfriend, 35F, won't admit to killing my dog. Do I end it? About a year ago, my then girlfriend was about to move in with me. My dog had broken its back from an injury 4 years prior. The injury was my fault, but he has healed and can walk and run now. However, he tweaked his back jumping on a wall. After taking him to the vet, he was given gabapentin for his pain, prescribed by the vet. My dog weighs 27 pounds and was given 400 milligrams of gabapentin, 200 milligrams, and then 200 milligrams 2 hours later, a fairly largest dose for size. He was not supposed to move or be in pain so his back can heal. My ex-partner thought he would be more comfortable and put a 25-pound weighted blanket designed for humans on him and folded it like she was making a bed on his diaphragm. When I got home from work, she said my dog looked strange. He looked strange because he was dead for 2 hours. She suffocated him under the weighted blanket. When I explained what happened to him, she freaked out and started cursing at me and blaming me for giving him gabapentin. I said quite a few choice words, and the relationship was done. And by choice words, I mean I cursed her out. I did eventually apologize for that, but she never admitted to killing him. Fast forward 18 months, and we have been talking again. We were in love, very much so, but I was unable to forgive her for not taking responsibility for my dog's death. I told her there was no way we could be friends or anything romantic until she took responsibility for suffocating my dog. She refuses to apologize or acknowledge that she killed him, and again blames it on the gabapentin and injuring his back 4 years ago. I find the behavior morally reprehensible and refuse to be with someone who can't do the bare minimum of accepting responsibility for doing something terrible to someone they loved. She claimed she loved my dog. She says I'm going in circles, holding on to the past, etc., which to me sounds a lot like gaslighting/stonewalling. How should I go about this? Do I cut ties or accept the loss of these 5 years? So, what do you guys think? Do you think he should cut ties and accept the L, or should he try and see if he can get her to apologize? Do you think it's worth it? Like he said, they were in love. It's been 18 months, but in my opinion, I don't think she's gonna take accountability or responsibility. Oh, it was your fault for injuring him. Like, yeah, he accepted it. Are you gonna accept what you did? I don't think so, but that's just what I think. Feel free to share what you believe in the comments, and let's go to the next story. Story number 5. My 30F ex-husband, 36M, wants me to be a surrogate for him and his girlfriend because her body is too perfect to ruin. A few months ago, I made a post about my ex-husband. Since then, we have had little to no communication except through a third party because we have a daughter together. He does absolutely nothing for her. He asked for full custody because he didn't want to pay child support. I finally got him to agree to supervised visits and 0 child support. The last 3 months, I haven't spoken a word to him, and he hasn't seen our daughter. But recently, he's been telling about his hot 18-year-old girlfriend. The reason why he told me is because we agreed to tell each other about our relationship since the person would interact with our daughter. But he's always accidentally sending me nudes of bikini pictures of her, or accidentally sending me messages meant for her. The other day, he told me that he wants to have a baby with her. He is irresponsible, and she is immature, so they would make horrible parents. But he wants me to carry their child. Why? Because her teenage body is so hot and sexy, and that I'm old and used. I have no idea why he would even ask me. Why is he telling me about her body? Why does he want me involved in any sort of way? It's also weird. What? What did I just read? What? This is insane! What sitcom is this from? Because I will watch it. But otherwise, if it's real life, these are terrible people. My 18-year-old girlfriend. Bro, you were in high school while she was still in the sack, dude. What is going on? I don't even want to give any wisdom or advice or anything. I just want to laugh at how stupid that guy is and his too perfect to ruin hot bod girlfriend. And they want to use the body of his old and used ex-wife. What did you think she was gonna say? Oh, yes, please inseminate me. Okay, I'm done. Bye-bye.